Let's take a few moments to reflect on the types of silence. Stillness. The easiest one to experience is simply to pause for a few moments your thoughts, any activities, and there is the simplest, easiest, accessible and available silence, stillness and peace. But the mind jumps, rises, requires attention. Typically, when one reaches a more advanced state of meditation called presence, this silence deepens greatly, because this silence of presence is beyond emotions, beyond shallow movements of the mind, beyond movements of energy. And through presence, then we gain access to the non-dual stillness, which is strengthening of the silence of the presence of the being. It's a maturity of that stillness. It's a transcendence from dualities of energy, mind, feelings, sensations. This mature stillness cosmologically is like a mini void, a cosmic space. It is called cosmic consciousness. It is the voidness, the womb for our local universe. It's a beautiful state to be in that space of nothingness. Deeper yet, we encounter the alive stillness, the present self, the light that permeates the silence, the light that includes the silence and stillness and peace. As we pass through this state of deep silence, which is now lit up with awareness. Now at this point, I would like to read a quote from Kabir, which says, "Past thoughts into silence. Past silence into stillness. Past stillness into the heart. Let love consume all that is left of you. As we know, Ramana Maharishi has found great stillness in the heart on the right. He called it the true spiritual heart, the one that is always silent, yet always present. This heart emanates silence and stillness. It is so much more real, deep and true, yet still more. There are further degrees of greatness, of silence within, which takes us to the Mahasunyata, the greatest void of all existence. This is where typically Buddhist lamas can reach and associate with the teachings of the emptiness of Buddha Nirvana as the final state. However, this greatest void, the deepest deep, there is still more to go for the soul to reunite with the ultimate, the Supreme One. That's when we enter the true divine, which is absolutely static, silent and still. Yet from this divine static silence and stillness, the most immense light pours forth. There is no distinction between the two. It is one and the same. And as we align with the divine spirit, it takes us deeper yet more into the greatness and vastness, ineffable, silent, ever-existent bliss, peace beyond all forms of consciousness. This is where Meher Baba abided for 43 years and a half without speaking, a vow of silence. In his writings, he said, "In the silence of your perfect surrender, my love, which is always silent, can flow to you, to be yours always to keep, and to share with those who are deprived of it." He understood the divine spirit, for he said, "Because all forms and words are from this primal sound, the original word, the word of silence that creates everything, and are continuously connected with it and have their life from it. So we may understand that even the great void and the cosmic void womb for our universe, although silent and still, it is still a small portion of creation within the grand scheme of divine cosmology. The way to start to enter this great stillness is to quiet the mind and the senses, which are the doorways for the input of information. We quiet the mind, we still the senses, reducing the input so that the body quiets and the inner self quiets. When all of these are quiet, don't do anything, because that's where the truth begins to be revealed. This is where we obtain a state of lasting repose. This is how we begin to access. When we withdraw from everything and we concentrate on that one place, a great power starts to spring forth in silence. Veil after veil is removed. It is where the ego softens. It is not fed anymore. Great masters who are connected with the divine light sound stream recognize that silence becomes, as Sant Kirpal Singh says, vocal giving vent to the music of the spheres. For in that silence that one can connect with and experience the great Shabd, the divine light sound stream, which gives existence to creation and the silence itself. Because silence is not absence of noise. Just like space is not absence of matter. It only appears to the beginning eye or ear to be so. However, upon deeper quietness or looking, into the silence or space, we may find the origin of it, that which gives the silence. Now, this is very important point. We may experience that which gives the silence. As Adi Shankara says, silence is the first door to spiritual eminence. It takes us deeper. In peace and silence, you grow. The skin of the eye softens. The veil of me and you dissolves. As Ramana said, in the silence, in the quietness, we gain the jnana dristi, wisdom, insight. We gain the wisdom from the silence. Ramana said that silence actually is ever speaking. It is perennial flow of language. The silence transmits the wisdom, the light of the self. So the non-dual silence is attained as experience of knowledge, deep spiritual knowledge, is recognized as the shining of oneself. Because that self or awareness, consciousness is silent and it's shining. When the I-ness, the ego I is stilled, the self shines. So the last quote is by Sant Kirpal Singh, a great master of Shabd, a divine master, who says, God is the ocean of utmost and restful silence. So long as we cannot have this restful silence within us, the soul cannot listen to the voice of the silence, which is resounding in the heart of hearts. We see how beautifully that connects, even though it's a completely different spiritual lineage, but it beautifully connects with Ramana's non-dual teaching of silence and the heart on the right. So spiritual masters from different lineages recognize the same truth that goes deeper yet deeper.